Hey, hello, I'm Kid, also known as Corvus Cornix, and welcome to Closet Movie Rambles, where I talk about old movies that I found in my closet while cleaning. This week's movie is the Animatrix. It's a 9-short animated feature based on the Matrix trilogy, basically. So I'm going to talk about one of the episodes, the first one, the Beyond. And it's about 20 minutes long. So the movie starts with people going about their daily lives. Basically, they're walking to the jobs and crossing this road, and then cutting to a small cat named Juki, just walking around the neighborhood, and then cutting to her owner, this teenager, young adult kind of, this girl, on her phone with her friend, and she's worried about her cat because she never misses a meal. And she is so worried, in fact, that she hangs up on a friend and she goes out to look for the cat. So she goes around the neighborhood asking people if they've seen it or not. They say no, and then she finds this one boy that says that she's seen the cat at this old haunted kind of creepy house. And then she follows these kids there and they kind of get in there, but there's something strange about this house. There's like this hovering can a bit above the ground, like a bean can, and there's like a dog eating grass, black grass, and when the dog eats it, it kind of melts. The face melts a bit, and then there's this light bulb that kind of flickers in and out of existence. Really weird. And then the girl lost sight of the guys, the boys, basically, and then she tries to look for them. And then she finds this. She goes through a hallway, and there's this kind of glitched kind of newspaper flying in with the wind. It flickered in and out of existence. She's kind of scared. She doesn't really know what's going on. She thinks this really is a haunted house. Then cutting to the kids basically throwing bottles at the ground and then breaking them, and they kind of stop and then fly back and reform, and they try to catch it. And then the girl finds the cat and she runs after it, and then she picks it up and it kind of growls like a tiger, and she gets even more confused what's going on, but she kind of calms down. And then she basically goes to check up on the boys, and they're jumping from these kind of like, not from the roof, but from the higher part of the construction of this broken house. And they kind of jump down against the ground. They can kind of stop a bit, like just a few inches above the ground. And they kind of have this competition, like who can get closest to the ground. And there's this one kid that wins, but he's too close to the ground and kind of starts bleeding from his nose because of the fall, the pressure. And then the girl enters the room, and she kind of sees this feather kind of spazzing out in the air, like twirling kind of fast, and she kind of picks it up. And then the cat like disturbs like a pigeon or something, and it flies up, and everything turns into like a slow motion thing, and the walls kind of fade to a bright light, and she actually becomes light as a feather, and she kind of falls down very slowly to the ground. And the kid says, like, this has never happened before. What's going on? And then the girl kind of lands on the ground, and she knocks on the floor, and she says, is anybody home? And then the cleanup crew comes, and I think these are like agents, like in the Matrix, trying to like clean up the corrupted code. Because when something in the Matrix is not doing what it's supposed to, they get like removed, or something gets altered, and try to fix it, basically. And then the girl is actually light as a feather, so she kind of flies around in the room, and the boys this one boy kind of lifts her up by his shoe, kind of pointed up, he kind of goes up into the air. And they kind of do some acrobatics, because all of a sudden they're light as feathers as well. And then all the rats in the building start to run, you know, like trying to escape, because they know that the cleanup crew is coming. And then the crew enters, but the girl loses sight of her cat again, and she tries to run after it, and she looks for it, And she basically finds the cat, the UK cat, scratching a red door, and she kind of goes to pick up the cat. When she opens the door, it's like this big black room, this void into nothingness. And she kind of just stand there flabbergasted. She doesn't know what to do. And then the cleanup crew kind of comes up, and this one guy shines a flashlight on her face, and he says like, "You're not supposed to be here," or something like that. And then she takes her in, you know. And then some days later, the kids, she returns to this kind of abandoned house, but now it's not there anymore. And there's like these there's like a construction site, and the other kids, some of the kids are also there. They're playing with the balls and try to break it and try to catch it when it comes back, but it just breaks like normal balls will do. And then they leave. And then the girl kind of looks around, and she picks up this can that was in the beginning of the episode. She picks it up, and she kind of cuts herself on her finger, and she starts to bleed a lot. And she's confused to what's been going on, what's been happening. And then it cuts back to like the beginning of the movie, like people are crossing streets, and everything kind of goes on as if it never happened. So, what do I think of this movie? It's a really interesting thing, because when the Wachowski brothers were doing like the second movie, Matrix Reloaded, they reached out to these Japanese anime directors, and I basically asked them, "Hey guys, can you make some cool kung fu kind of anime-esque movies to tie in with the Matrix, these movies that we're making?" And I think there were a lot of money involved, and everything like from 98 and forward, or 99 or whatever, when the first Matrix came out, it was like gold, so they couldn't pass on the opportunity. So you have like all these high kind of praised directors making movies, so they made 9 of these. And The Beyond is one of the good ones, and I think another one, The Programmer, has like cool samurais and kind of this more Japanese culture influence things. And then there's some other kind of episodes that aren't that good. But the good thing, or the interesting thing about the Beyond episode is that it was actually, parts of it were actually not fully animated from the start. It was actually filmed. So the director kind of filmed this girl sitting on her bed talking to a friend over the phone, and they kind of retraced some of it or copied the movements to make it more fluid and natural. So these 20 minutes are actually took so much time to actually make. So I thought that was interesting looking at the extra materials and kind of seeing like the process behind making all these, because you watch a 20-minute short anime film, you think nothing about it. Okay, it's philosophical, it has influences into Alice in Wonderland or this and that, and you kind of get, okay, whatever. But the entirety of the work is never realized until you actually see the behind the scenes footage, basically. So that was that. So can I recommend this movie? Absolutely. It's really good. It has a lot of great potential. It's a lot of good stuff. But anyway, thanks for watching, and take care.